All right, now let's look at this question. This is all about the change. What should we do to complete the tuning task? Option E says replace Spark trials function with trials, which is this one. So trials is required, that is trial function is required when running locally without Spark based parallelism. Let's keep it for now. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now, then select the Diamond tab. Once enrolled in Diamond membership, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of Cloud Guru Amit or Instagram at the rate of Amit Physique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course, including hands-on files when available. Let's move to option B. B says lower max runs to below 10, which is this one, max runs. Reducing evolutions doesn't resolve execution compatibility. Hence incorrect. Let's move to now option C. C says use if max function instead of if min. So if we look here, f min here, so f max is not a valid method in hyperopt. So this is just a distractor. We'll remove this and lock option E as the right answer. Okay, now let's look at this question, which is all about advantages of using vectorized pandas UDF over standard PySpark UDF. Option E says vectorized pandas UDFs support type annotation. Type annotations doesn't impact execution performance. Incorrect. We'll move to now option B. B says vectorized pandas UDFs handle data in group batches instead of individual rows. Batch processing improves speed and reduces overhead. Let's keep it. Now let's move to option C. C says vectorized pandas UDFs allow pandas syntax inside the function. Pandas syntax is usable, but not the core performance driver. Wrong answer. Let's move to option D. D says vectorized pandas UDFs operate on distributed data frames. Both UDF type work on distributed data frame. This is incorrect. We'll lock option B as the right answer. Let's bring the heat to the snow. This is all about distributing across nodes. Option E says encoding categorical matrix using one hot format. One hot encoding is parallel friendly and doesn't require global aggregation, hence incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says encoding categorical matrix using target based values. Target encoding can be distributed using group level statistics. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option C. C says filling missing matrix with the average value. Mean imputation is efficient due to simple aggregation. So this is incorrect. Now let's move to the last option. It says filling missing matrix with the true median value. Median calculation requires sorting and global coordination, which slows distribution. So therefore, this is the right answer because we are looking for the least efficient to distribute across nodes. All right, now let's look at this. So this is all again about coding. This will test your concepts on coding. Option E says use min-max scalar to normalize the training set using global min-max values. Global values introduce leakage from test data into training logic. Hence incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says use min-max scalar to normalize the test set using global min-max values. Scaling test data using global values risk contaminating evolution. We'll delete this. We'll move to now option C. C says use pipeline to normalize the test set using statistics from the training set. So this ensures consistent scaling by applying training derived statistics to the test set. That being said, option C is the right answer. All right, now let's look at this question. So this is all about randomly dividing the data frame into training and testing sets for downstream use. Option E says validation splitter. Validation splitter is not used for raw data frame partitioning. Incorrect. We'll move to now option B. B says data frame dot filter. Data frame dot filter applies conditions, not randomized splitting. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option C. C says cross validator. Cross validator handles tuning, not data partitioning. We'll delete this. Now let's move to the last option. It says data frame dot random split. Random split divides the data frame into randomized subsets for training and testing. That's what is required, right? We need to randomly divide data frame into training and testing sets. So that being said, dot random split is the right answer. All right, now let's look at this question. Please feel free to pause this video because we need to complete the line of block here. And the option goes something like this. I'll go one step back once again so that you can read the question carefully and judge which option should be the correct one. So here goes the question once again. So now let's look at the options. Option A, if you look, score star infra df dot columns will expand all columns as arguments to the UDF for row wise scoring. If we look here, that's what we require as well as. So let's keep it for now. Option B says map in pandas score. Map in pandas is used for grouped data frame transformation, not column wise UDF, what we have as per the question, the requirement. Option B is out. Let's move to option C. Option C uses iterator function. Iterator function is not a valid Spark construct for applying UDFs. Wrong choice. Let's move to the last option. So calling the function inside map in pandas breaks expected input format. Wrong choice. We'll lock option E as the right answer. All right, we need to select the least effort while enabling big data scalability. Option E says modify the notebook to run data transformations in parallel. Parallelization requires structural changes and doesn't preserve pandas syntax, hence incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says rewrite the notebook using the PySpark data frame API. PySpark API demands full rewrites and new syntax. Wrong answer. We'll move to option C. C says convert the notebook to use the Scala dataset API. Scala API introduces language shift and steep learning curve. We'll delete this. Let's move to option D. D says switch to the Pandas API on Spark for scalable execution. Pandas API on Spark preserves familiar syntax while enabling distributed processing. That being said, option D is the right answer. All right, now let's look at this question. We need to enable random sampling from the hyperparameter space. Option E is replace grid search CV with randomized search CV. So this enables random sampling from distributions during hyperparameter tuning. Let's keep it. Let's move to option B. B says replace grid search CV with cross validate. Cross validate evaluates model performance but doesn't perform parameter search. Wrong answer. Let's move to option C. Option C says replace grid search CV with parameter grid. Parameter grid generates combinations but doesn't support random sampling. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option D. D says change random state equal to 42 to random state equal to 7. Changing seed doesn't affect the search strategy. We'll delete this. We'll lock option E as the right answer. Alright, now let's look at this question. Please feel free to pause this video because we got to answer these options based on the question here. So now let's go back to the options once again. So option E says add a validation step during validation step using a separate test set. Validation helps with evolution but doesn't fix the optimization direction. It's incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says include a random state parameter in the estimator. Adding random state improves reproducibility, not scoring logic. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option C. C says remove the mean function wrapper from the cross validation scores. Removing mean function breaks the scalar return expected by fmin as required by here. That being said, option C is also incorrect. Now let's move to option D. D says return performance instead of performance. If we go back, fmin minimizes the objective. So returning the negative score aligns with the goal. That being said, option D is the right answer. We'll lock it. Alright, now let's look at this question. This is all about transforming categorical fields into multiple binary indicator variables. Option E says leave one out encoding. Leave one out uses group level statistics, not binary flags. Incorrect. Option B says target encoding. Target based transformation encodes categories using outcome averages. Wrong answer. Option D, C says one hot encoding. One hot transformation creates binary columns for each category. That's what we need. Let's keep it for now. Option C says categorical embedding. Embedding based transformation maps categories to dense vectors. So this we don't need. Let's lock option C, one hot encoding as the right answer. So please don't go away. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now, then select the Diamond tab. Once enrolled in Diamond membership, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of Cloud Guru Amit or Instagram at the rate of Amit Physique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course, including hands-on files when available. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's meet in next part.